This conference will now be recorded.
So what are we understanding in our past class? So finally we understood using PEGA we can able to design our internal applications, and we started discussion about one such internal project which is on insurance. Am I correct? So that is not completely seen due to some time constraints. I'll share you the complete recording video also for that. Need not worry. And I thought of sharing one more thing also, that is like healthcare. So this project also I'll share you the whole video. Okay, so whoever is enrolling, so you'll be getting this document as well as video for these two things. And as I said, these two projects needs to be done from your end. Okay, so the next one actually will start is like banking project, which is like very important in your real time. So how to create this project and how to design screen one, screen two. So whatever the things completely we do in this one, you are supposed to do here as well as here. So parallel in 4 months of our course, these three projects should be done finally. So this is our agenda should be. Fine. So as a whole, consider any organization. It might be Citibank or HDFC Bank, whatever it is. So day one, what will happen, is maybe if we all as a whole wanted to start a bank like ABC. So I want like few internal applications, right? Maybe one for credit card, one for loans likewise. So all the internal applications, what this organization is planning to go for, what they will do is they will be getting license from PEGA systems team, and PEGA product will be belonging to this city client or ABC client, whatever. So now this particular client is having certain internal development. Am I correct? Certain development. So development phase will be there, testing phase will be there, deployment, likewise multiple sub projects will be there. So what this client will do here is they will be giving some vendorship. Okay, suppose if city wants some projects to be designed, so TCS will go for that bidding and they will say like we'll do it for $200 million, and parallelly CTS comes and they will quote their price, maybe Cognizant, whatever. So different companies come for this bidding and they will try to acquire this whole project. So this particular client, they will not give complete project to any company. So maybe today if you join in one company like CTS as a PEGA developer, okay, and your testing team might be from TCS or maybe Accenture or maybe HCL. So why a project will be divided between different companies is first what you have to understand. So what will happen here is if city client is giving development for TCS, and then the next phase will be like testing, which will not be given for the same company again. So this client will be giving this for something like CTS company, and you take any other project, development, testing, maybe then deployment might be given for Accenture, and maybe reporting part might be given for HCL. So client will be dividing his whole project between different companies. So this is to get like client will be having three major advantages in this case. Three major advantages. So what are those advantages is first you have to know. So today, after your course is done, you'll join like an PEGA developer in some company. It might be CTS, and here or maybe here you will be like a developer. And whatever the requirements you get from your client, so one person from here will work with you, and another person from another company will work with you, and person from Accenture or different persons come, and you as a whole team should work here. So what happens here is if this client is saying like we want one credit card project to be developed and it should be containing like 50 screens, and we can give you like only 1 year of time, and this is our overall budget, so who can do for this price? Then TCS might say like we can do it for still lesser cost, and this client might say like we'll do it for still lesser cost and we'll give it like 6 months extra maintenance period. Accordingly projects will be divided between all these companies. And then and then so the first advantage here what you have to understand is, since a project is being divided into multiple teams or companies, obviously competition is getting increased, right? If competition is getting increased, so automatically budget will also be less, right? If TCS is okay for 200 million and CTS can still come up with extra advantages, might be with lesser cost, right? So in terms of budget perspective, so client will be having very good advantage in this case. That is one thing. And second thing here will be, so here maybe TCS is one development team and CTS is like testing team. So every time developer motto is to, every time as a developer, what you are supposed to do? Your motto is to do everything perfectly without any code defect, right? Suppose if I'm the manager here, I'll ask my team to develop certain design. So there should not be any defects within that, right? So development team should always plan for less defects. Am I correct? And testing team, what they have to aim for? More number of defects. More number of defects. So business analyst from here, they will try to monitor these two persons, these two teams. So if defect count is more, so development team is not properly doing, right? And maybe here if defect count, if they're trying to increase multiple defects, so testing team is doing perfectly, right? Am I correct? Okay. So if as a developer your first motto is to reduce number of defects, and as like a tester it is to increase multiple defects, defect count should be increased. So that is the reason testing team will see everything in terms of defect raising perspective only. So earlier we have seen like one document in the last class I have shown you with widget table and mockup document, right? So there if as a tester if I feel something like as a defect, if it is not mentioned, still I'll fight that to be as a defect because I want like defect count to be more. Am I correct? Consider one scenario. So today, this is like March month, right? March month. So generally, appraisal and hikes should be happening these days. Okay. So suppose if I'm your manager, if you're coming to me and asking for hike, so you are working for from past 1 year, and if you're asking for hike, so as a manager, what I have to say, or as a manager, I will ask you question: Why should I increase you the salary? What you will say for that? Generally, if your manager is saying like, why should we increase the salary? What you will say? You will say like, from past 1 year, I'm working for each and every requirement. There is no time slip pages. Okay, and I'm getting very good appreciation from the client. And additionally, I'm helping my extra team members. I'm working on Saturdays and Sundays. You'll try to put every such point. Okay, so every such point. So based on that, your manager will give like 5% hike or 10% maximum to that. Am I correct? Okay. So this manager, he is supposed to go for some kind of appraisal discussion with these team members. Now your manager also should get some hike, right? He has to ask his manager. He has to ask his manager. Suppose if I'm such manager and if I'm asking my manager for some kind of salary increment, what he will ask? What have you done for the company? Or why should I increase you this hike? So as an individual, if I say like I'm managing my whole team and each and every person I'm training internally, I'm making that person to groom to the project requirement, and I'm making every one of my team members to do everything defect free within time, and extra task is also what we're trying to do. As a team manager, I'm making my work perfectly. If I say this as the reason, so my manager, what he will say is that is not actually your task, that is your position's task. Meaning instead of you, if any X person is in that position, that is his duty. So for that duty, you are already getting paid. What extra you want for this? This is what they'll ask you. So finally, if you are like a team member, your responsibilities is like doing completely to the project level. So your defect free coding, timely timesheet entry, all these things, basic things. Now for certain managers, their salaries will be deciding based on number of projects. What is like number of projects? So whoever the manager in this TCS company or whoever the manager in this CTS company or maybe Accenture company. So the managers, they will be getting salaries or hikes based on the number of projects they are acquiring. Meaning person staying like a manager here, his duty is to his duty is to acquire other company projects. Getting my point? His duty is to acquire other company projects. So if his duty is to grab other company projects, so from the client perspective, he should be projecting that this company is perfect, right? Okay, so if I'm working in so and so XYZ company, I should talk to my client saying like my team is working perfectly, so this team is not properly working out, this team is not properly working out, so they are not identifying proper defects. If they are not identifying defects at this moment, after 2 years in production, if they are getting, if you are getting any production defects, then it will be very big problem. I think this team is not doing well, we are having very good testing team here, so we'll do it for 6 months free, just give us that project. This is what they'll try to grab it. So if a manager from here, if he's in a thought of grabbing other projects, similarly project manager he also will think the same, right? So if I'm a testing manager here, what I have to say, so we are getting multiple defects, development team is not doing perfectly, we are having very good development team, so just give us the project for 1 year. So post that we'll try to extend our service for next 1.5 year. So in some way, every company will try to grab other projects. So if you are trying to grab some other project, they'll be getting share out of that. Okay, so managers will not get any hike, they'll be getting share out of that. Just imagine one project is enough for them. So why I'm saying this is, if there is competition between different companies, every manager, they will try to put blame on other companies, right? If they are in a thought to put blame on other companies, they should be first perfect, right? They should be first perfect. So meaning every task whatever they are given, so it will be done perfectly first. And same here also, work will be done perfectly within themselves. Post that they will try to grab from other things. So from client perspective, if we are having competition between different projects, just imagine how quality of product they'll get, how best quality, they will not get any defect in future. So development today will be perfect, testing will be perfect, everything will be perfect. So second most advantage from the client perspective, if it is given between different companies, is what is this? Quality. So quality of the product will be perfect. Getting my point? Quality will be very good. And third and very important thing here is, if this client is giving project between different companies, maybe I'm a developer from company one, I'm a developer from company one, so I'll do certain tasks. Maybe if you are like a deployment from another company working for the same client, same project, so do you really understand what as a whole I'm doing here? Will you be completely knowing what a developer from other company is doing? Not, right? And will I be completely understand what you are doing there completely? No. So if a whole project is divided between different companies, no company knows the complete information. Getting my point? No one will know the complete information. So security will be very good. Security will be very good. So that is the reason every project will be divided between different companies. Suppose if this city client is giving whole project maybe for XYZ company, some company. So within same company if there is like development, and within same company if there is testing, and within same company, so of all projects are given within same company, so this development team will develop something and testing team will raise the defects accordingly. Suppose today is the last day for testing phase, consider today is the last day. So if I'm the tester here, I got one I got one issue at the last minute, which is like very important issue to be fixed. So if I'm trying to raise one defect now, then my client might ask me, what have you done from past 1 month? Why is this issue not identified till last minute? So if this is the question being raised, how bad will be the company's reputation? Am I correct? So there might be such defects, there might be such defects which might be suppressed at the last minute. Okay, so the maybe development team, testing team might be different, this as a whole belonging to one company, right? Overall company reputation might be disturbed, right? So this as a whole they might be manipulating this defect now. So maybe after 2 years or 3 years issue might be reproduced at production level, issue might be reproduced production level. So our development phase might be completed in 1 year or 2 years. By that time if you are getting any issues we'll not be responsible, right? So there might be such chances of quality compromising. That is the reason there will not be any kind of project shared within one single company. Getting my point? Within one single company it will not be there. Okay, fine. So you take any organization like city. So city organization will be having multiple internal applications. Am I correct? So today, if you go for a bank, like maybe SBI Bank or Citibank, whatever it is, so there will be one counter where that person will be dealing with credit card. Am I correct? And there will be another counter where it will be dealing with savings accounts. And maybe another application might be related to loans. And another application might be related to gold loans, whatever, or some cashier portal, whatever it is. So one organization, if it is to be given with multiple applications internally, you as a developer has to first develop this, right? Today we'll be sitting in some company somewhere in Hyderabad. We'll develop all the screens. Post that this project will be deployed in USA banks or Australian banks, whatever it is. So first as a developer we have to develop it. So today you join one company like CTS and you as a developer supposed to design these screens for city client. Okay, fine. So the application whatever you are supposed to design will be having multiple screens internally. So maybe screen number one kind of customer registration, screen number two maybe collecting your educational details or nominee details or address details, whatever it is. So you are supposed to design screen number one. Screen number one will be generally kind of registration, right? So if you join this company, business analyst from here, they will be giving you certain requirements. Screen number one mockup should be like this and its related widget table. Suppose registration page if it is showing like collecting your first name. Okay, following that everyone? Collecting your first name, collecting your last name, maybe age, mobile number. So you'll try to create, drag and drop and implement one design. Am I correct? Am I correct? Okay, so screen number one registration page is what you have designed as per your manager stating you whatever it is. So once you are designing this, once you have done development for this project for screen number one, next your manager, CTS manager is asking you to design registration page even for account portal. Even for registry account portal also registration will be there. So again, first name is what you have to design, last name, age, mobile number, genders, whatever it is. So you are trying to design some page for this portal 2 also, application 2 also. Once this is also done, your manager is asking you to design same registration page for third application. First name, last name, age, mobile number, everything you have done. And then even for the fourth one also. So after you are done with this fourth design, fourth screen registration page, then you realize that whatever the work you have done for screen 1 or application 1, same thing you have done for application 2 also, right? Same thing even for third and maybe fourth. And in future, if they are planning to include one more thing, for that also you have to do the same, right? So if you are understanding whatever the task you have done earlier, it is not being reused. You are trying to do it again and again. So instead of you doing such repeated work, if we can design in kind of reusable perspective. So reusable perspective meaning if this is our city client, if this is our application 1, 2, 3, and 4. So whatever the work you wanted to do here, and if it looks reusable in all other things, so don't go for repeated again. Instead, if we can maintain such design in its library, kind of library meaning kind of reusable design. If you are maintaining something like in library, like first name, last name, age, mobile number, all these things, so this design you can straight away include it here, right? And maybe it's the same design, you can include it here, right? Same design, am I correct? If you are trying to do it here, it might take 1 hour time for you, and again here meaning again 1 hour, again 1 hour, again 1 hour. So it might take around 4 hour effort, just an example. Instead, if we are doing the same in library, it might take 1 hour, and using into this will not take more than 5 minutes, right? Maybe here 5 minutes, here 5 minutes, here 5 minutes. So if you follow this approach, it will take hardly 1.5 hour, and in this approach maybe like 4 5 hours also. So what I'm saying is, as a developer, if you are given any task into particular application, if you are supposed to do any task, you have to first understand whether this task will be used into other applications or not. Getting my point? Other applications or not. If you feel that design looks reusable, where you have to create, where you have to do it, in library. So technically, whatever the library we are seeing, this is to be called as, what is this? Framework. Technically, this particular thing should be called what? Framework. So framework application is something where we'll be maintaining all the reusable components so that it should be used into its below applications. Am I correct? So the above one, this library, we are supposed to call as framework application, and all these applications, whatever the below things, these are to be called as implementation applications. Getting my point? So in PEGA, we'll be having two types of applications. Okay, so one is to be called as framework, and the other set is to be called as implementation. So what is framework? Framework meaning where we will be maintaining all the reusable components. And what is implementation? Where we will be maintaining its specific components. What is specific? Let me tell you again. So if I'm trying to redesign the same structure, this will be our organization. Am I correct? And this will be given with some framework. Okay, so we are supposed to call it like framework, within which you will be having multiple implementations connected. Whatever we are calling like credit card, loans, accounts, what are all these are to be called as implementation applications, and this is to be called as framework application. So today, as a developer, if you join some company here, so you will be just given some design. That's it. Design screen number one, or here design screen number one. Whatever the task given for you, first you have to analyze whether the things whatever you create will it be used in other implementations or not. If it is being used in other implementations, don't straight away create in implementations. Create it in framework and use it into below implementations. Understood this statement, everyone? Clear? Online, everyone clear with this statement? So to understand between framework and implementation, there should be something like data movement. This is the thing you have to understand. Fine. So if I give you certain task like this, so this is credit card application, this is loans, this is accounts, and maybe consider this design. So if as a developer you join this company, and if I'm asking you to include something like first name, last name, age, credit card type, credit card amount. Okay. So if this is the design, what I'm asking you to include in this screen. So you are supposed to create each and everything, and you have to show me the output. That's it. So for that, first name is what you have to create. Where will you create this? So first name, if it is looks reusable in more than one, where will you create? Framework. And what about this last name? Last name also framework. What about this age? Age also framework. And what about this credit card type? Credit card type should be designed here. What about this credit card amount? It's also an implementation. Okay. So overall, if you're trying to design a screen, can't you get these things from here? Okay. So you can get these things from its parent and you can try to implement it here. You'll get correct output. So if you are creating everything in this implementation and using it, or if you're trying to create somewhere in the parent and using it, overall output will be same. So if I'm a bank employee, if you are PEGA development team, if I'm a bank employee, if I launch this credit card application, I'll get a screen. Am I correct? I'll get a screen. So in that screen, you might be creating few things in above parent and bringing out, or you might be directly creating here and bringing out. So can I identify the difference? Can I identify the difference? A end user like me, can I identify how your development is? No, right? Output will be same. Output will be same. But as a developer, you should understand to what extent these are reusable. Getting my point? To what extent these are reusable? Suppose if you create credit card type and credit card amount also here, so will you not get the output? No, no, first tell me. You'll get the same output, right? Everything will be exact same, right? So from end point of view, no one can find the difference. Am I correct? Correct? Okay. So if you are trying to create everything here and using it here, that is acceptable, provided if it is to be reused everywhere. So I have created credit card type and credit card amount here. Will it be used here? No, right? Will it be used here? No. And if I'm creating everything like first name, last name here, okay, and here if I'm trying to create again, still output will be the same. So as a developer, you should not think anything about output alone. You have to understand best practices. Best practices. So if we are designing everything here, as well as everything here, as well as everything here, output will get, but performance issues is what we'll see. Performance issues meaning, so if as a bank employee, if I'm trying to run this application, I'm a bank employee now, I have one laptop, and in this the application what you developed I can access. One customer is coming to me asking for credit card registration, so I'll try to run this floor, or I'll try to run these screens. It will take some extra time to be processed. Since you are doing some repeated work everywhere, it will take some extra time. So processing time will take more. So per day, if I am supposed to register 100 customers as a bank employee, if my application is supposed to create 100 customers, if there is something delay, it might be reduced to 80 customers or 70 customers per day, right? Am I correct? So if there is anything like slow in terms of processing, just imagine performance will be reduced, business will be impacted for the company, right? So if there is anything like slowness in any application, so will this city client accept? If I'm a Citibank manager, will I accept this? So the earlier application we got developed on .NET or Python, where it is to be registering 100 or 150 customers per day, and whatever the application we are doing with PEGA, if it is running slow, what for going for that? Overall, our business is getting impacted, right? So, so will PEGA accept this? If client is saying like that we don't want this application, will PEGA accept this? No. PEGA will be coming with some solution for this. So as a developer, every time you are first supposed to understand to what extent it is reusable. So if it is reusable, create it in above parent. If not, create in below childs. So this kind of design, if you are not following as a PEGA developer, you will be getting first question from PEGA systems team only. Okay, you will be getting question from where? PEGA systems team. So why PEGA systems team is coming into picture now? What is happening? City is your client, so he is getting license from PEGA team. Am I correct? And he is giving project from for CTS or TCS company. You are the developer here. So you are reporting to a manager under TCS and you are doing some work for this client. So in this whole design, again PEGA systems team, why it is again coming into picture? So point here is at every high level client meeting, at every high level client meeting, so one person from client and one person even from PEGA systems team, one person from this vendor one person from here, one person from here, this whole will be meeting. So there, if there is any performance issues in terms of application, you are supposed to answer his questions. Getting my point? So this person will not take care of development related time and other things. He will be just taking care of performance. So is this PEGA application whatever being developed? So is this meeting our performance standards or not? Okay, so this company, this client is getting like license from this company with extra cost, huge cost. So despite they're getting extra cost, if their performance is poor, so these will be the first persons to be responsible in taking action, right? So that is the reason in every meeting, so one person from PEGA systems team, he should be available. His duty is to check whether development everything is done in perfect standards or not. Okay, so today, if I joined one company and my manager is asking me to design so and so screen, okay, and I have developed everything here. After 1 year, again I'm developing everything here. Who will identify? Who will identify that? Can a PEGA systems team can identify me? No, right? It's not that easy to monitor every second, no. So it's not like as a human to identify all these things. So our PEGA software is having one powerful algorithm to check whether every developer is doing best standards or not. So we call it like rule resolution algorithm and other things. It is having some perfect algorithm where every developer is following the best standards or not. Automatically, it will be checking them. Overall, it will be giving one final score for that. Getting my point? Overall, it will be giving one final score. So we call it like compliance score. What is this? We call this like compliance score. If PEGA is showing this compliance score as 100%, need not worry at all. Everything is in perfect design. Getting my point? Everything is in perfect design. So if this score is showing something like 90 or 80, then this person will be monitoring. If score is less, obviously he will check. So there it will be given with every developer and its respect to warnings. Suppose developer 1, he has done some task here. Similar task is again being done here. Instead of this, why can't he design in framework? This is the suggestion given. So even though if you are getting exact output but not with best standard, that PEGA can be identifying by showing some score called compliance score, which should be every time 100%. If it is less than 100%, then your manager, he should be first taking care of that. If your manager is not taking care, he should be answerable with this PEGA system team before client. So it will not be going to that level. Your manager on weekly basis or every sprint basis, he will check for compliance score. If so and so score is not perfect, so we'll be getting some kind of reasons also, because of this person, because of this warning will be getting reasons also. I can call that person and I can ask him, what is the task given for you? So why are you doing in this kind of repeated way? Instead, why can't you create it in above framework and why can't you use it here? Okay. So based on this score, you'll be understanding how best way you have to do. Getting my point? Understood? So today, technically, we are understanding two things. So type of applications will be two types. What are those? Framework application, implementation application. And every time you will be given tasks for design implementation. So in that process, if you feel reusable, where you will create? Framework. If it looks like reusable, where you'll create framework. So every application, if it is designed, so it should be given with some score. What is that? Confidence score. How much it should be? 100%. Every time it should be 100%. Okay. That I'll come. That I'll tell you now. Rule resolution algorithm. Okay. So this is very big topic. So later you'll come to know. For now, you have to just understand like basic things. Basic things. Fine. So if this is our city organization, and we should be having one framework, am I correct? And this is like implementation one, maybe loans, implementation two, maybe accounts, as like implementation three. So if this is our design, if this is our design. So as a developer, you joined one company here and you will be given tasks for this application alone. In that process, you should understand the reusable things and create it here and use it here in the coming requirements. This is what you have to do. Fine. So having one framework is mandatory. Am I correct? As per this complete discussion, past 10-15 minutes discussion. So maintaining one framework, is this not mandatory? Mandatory, right? So this is what we'll understand. Fine. So whoever has said mandatory, just think about the scenario. So today we are starting a bank like ABC. Maybe in Hyderabad, we all wanted to start one bank. Okay, as a whole. So since this is like startup project or startup company, today we wanted to go with only loans issue. Only loans. There is no credit card issue. There are not account, no accounts, whatever. So we'll be having only one implementation. Am I correct? Our organization is having only one implementation. Am I correct? So that is nothing but what? Loans, right? That's nothing but loans. So having one implementation, even in this case, is framework required. Yes, sir. No, no. So in this scenario, what I'm asking is, in this scenario, you told me like framework is mandatory. So consider another type of project which is like startup where we have only one implementation. So this is also PEGA project. This is also having one implementation. So do we really require framework in this case? That is what I'm asking. So if you are having one framework and if you are designing everything here, ultimately where you have to use? Ultimately where you have to use? Implementation only, no? So if you are having one framework and using it in implementation, or if you are directly having one implementation, so which is the best one? Which is the best one? You tell me. First tell me one or two, which is correct? Two. So we don't require framework in this case. That is what you people are saying, correct? And then, okay, fine. So today we are having an organization where we are starting a bank like, where we are starting an application like loans. So we don't require framework. We'll create everything here, like first name, last name, mobile number, civil score, whatever it is. Everything we'll create it here. So we are going for PEGA to design our application. As I told you, PEGA cost will be more. PEGA license will be more. So in that scenario, you will not stop with one application, right? What you'll do? In future, you will try to add one more thing. Okay, maybe like accounts. Accounts. So in accounts, if you wanted to design a registration page, what you'll do? Again, you have to do from the beginning. Am I correct or not? Again, you have to do from the beginning. And after a few years, if you wanted to start one more thing, again you have to do from the beginning. So instead, by the time you create this second one, if you are having one framework ready, so how easy it can be adoptable? Getting my point? How easy it can be absorbed? So by the time you create any new project, if you're having something framework ready, so reusability getting more, right? So what I'm saying is, if your project is much complicated or maybe like simple like this, so framework maintaining is like strongly recommended. It's not mandatory. It's up to you. If you wanted to do the same tasks again and again, you can do, no doubt in it. So it's not like mandatory, it is just a strong recommendation from PEGA team. So at least one framework is to be maintained, at least one. Okay, so at least one meaning there will be chances of having multiple frameworks also. What might be the chances of multiple frameworks? Consider this scenario. This is our organization, very big organization, where we are having one banking framework where it is given with credit card application, loans application, accounts. Okay, accounts. So I am supposed to develop something here. So tell me, if I wanted to create first name, last name, credit card type, and credit card amount. So tell me first name where I have to create framework. Last name framework. Credit card type here itself. Credit card type. What about credit card amount? Implementation. Credit card amount is what you'll do here. Okay. Fine. So now you are supposed to do some task here, that is like first name, last name, loan amount, loan type. So tell me first name where you will create. First name where you will create. Where you will create framework. So meaning, will you create one more time for first name? Then what is the point of framework? So by the time you wanted to design something, you should first check in framework whether it is already created or not. It's not a point of creating every time in the framework. So first you have to understand whether it is already available in framework or not. So if it is already available in framework, you will be pulling out first name and last name from there to here. And what about these two, loan amount and loan type? You have to create it, right? No, no? So loan amount and loan type you have to again create it. Similarly, first name, last name, maybe account type, account name. So you'll get these two from above parent and you'll create these two here. Am I correct? Okay. Now this company, city company or SBA company, uh, uh, they are settled with this banking sector. They wanted to start new sector like insurance. SBA life insurance చూస్తారు కదా. So if you go for such thing, SBA life insurance company or maybe particular uh, store, there again employees will be there. They will be using some applications related to insurance. Am I correct? If I go for an insurance company and say like about life insurance, go to counter number one is what they'll say. If I ask for vehicle insurance, go to counter number two. So each employee is using different application, meaning so there should be one implementation for medical insurance. Am I correct? And maybe one implementation for vehicle insurance, and maybe one thing for property insurance. So extra three implementations is what we wanted to start. So tell me, so can this be connected to this above framework? Why no? Okay, before this, tell me one more thing. So I wanted to today I joined here. I wanted to include something like Sibyl. Okay, your Sibyl score is. I wanted to show something like Sibyl. Where you will create this Sibyl implementation itself. So if you ask for a credit card in a bank, they'll take care of your CIBIL score, right? If you ask for a loan, is CIBIL score not required in that case? Required, right? So if CIBIL is something which is to be used in multiple, better you create here only, no? Am I correct? You created CIBIL also. That's fine. Now our requirement is to extend our project related to insurance sector. So we created three implementations. So what I'm asking is, can I connect these three implementation to this existing framework? That is what I'm asking. Yes or no? So ultimately I have to create first name, last name, these things only. Registration should be there. So can I connect these three to the existing framework? Yes? No. Okay. Yes. So I'm connecting these three also to the framework, same framework. In that scenario, I want to show something like first name, last name. For this first name, can I get from its parent? We are having it here, right? Yes. No. So first name can be derived. What about last name? Obviously, yes. Now I wanted to use something like policy number. I want to create the new one like policy number. So you'll just check here policy number. It's not there. What you will do? Where you will create implementation. Okay. So in vehicle insurance also they'll ask for my policy number, right? Is it not reusable then? Yes, kada. Reusable kada. So policy number is something where it will be reused. Am I correct or not? So where you will maintain this policy? This is what I'm asking you. Framework. Policy number is what you have to create it in framework. So it will be used here and here also, no doubt there. So this policy number, if it is created in a parent which is common for all these, can't policy number be used here? Will policy number be used here? Yes, that's right. So what a bank employee will do with policy number? Is this correct way of linking? So the CIBIL score, whatever you created the parent, this will be applicable even for other childs also. So will there be anything linking about CIBIL score in property insurance? So if you are going for certain property insurance as an individual, what about your CIBIL score with them? Am I correct? So tell me. So somewhere design is going wrong. Am I correct? Somewhere design is going wrong. So if you are in a project of going for different type of implementations, go for different kind of frameworks also. Getting my point? So if your project is much complicated, we can have n number of frameworks. So this as like one banking framework. This as like one insurance framework where you can have one application like accounts, loans, credit card, medical insurance, vehicle insurance, something about property insurance. You can have such design, no doubt. You can have such design. So now, whatever you feel reusable here, create it in the banking framework and use it. And whatever you feel reusable between these three, create it in insurance framework and use it, no doubt. Right? Getting my point? Okay. So now you joined here. If you are supposed to design, listen. If you are supposed to design this application, something like account creation. So you are given like first name, last name, CIBIL score, and account type. So now tell me first name where you will create first name. What about last name? What about CIBIL score? It also okay. What about account type? Implementation. Okay. So here you will create account type. Okay. So here if I wanted to show like first name, last name, CIBIL score, and loan type, what you'll do for this? First name, last name, CIBIL, you can get it from its parent. CIBIL you'll create it here. Am I correct? Anna? Ante kada? Correct, right? Okay. Fine. Now if you are supposed to design this one, that is first name, last name, policy number. Now tell me what you'll do. First name, last name, what you'll do? You'll create it in framework. First name, last name. What about policy number? Policy number also you'll create it here. So again same thing, right? Again same thing. Whatever the things you created here, is it being reused again? Is it used again? Again kind of repeated work. Am I correct? So if you create like first name, so how you are recreating here, same thing whatever the things you created, so it is not being used in some part of our project. Am I correct? Somewhere you went wrong, no? Nagada. So what is the solution for this? What is the solution for this? So even though we went like two different frameworks, so if you feel something like reused in all the implementations, if there is anything reusable, if you are just creating in one framework, how you expect in another framework? Different type of projects, right? How do you expect in this case? So what is the solution for this? What is the solution for this? Hmm? So we should be having one more main framework. Okay, this has banking, maybe this has insurance, and we should be having design in this case. Understanding? So first you have to understand how many projects, sorry, how many applications should be. And how about whole organization structure? So this whole thing your business analyst will take care, you need not bother as a developer. So your business analyst will completely take care of this design. And as a developer, once you join any project for developing, you should understand how its structure is. Without you knowing the structure, what you will do? Okay, so this we call it like organization structure. This I'll talk again in tomorrow's class. So once you're coming to know what is framework and what is implementation, how the structure should be, then we'll create our project. Get my point? So actually we thought of starting one new project related to banking, right? So without you knowing what is framework, what is implementation, what you'll do? First you have to understand something about project structure. So then we'll understand what is actual next step. That will continue tomorrow. Got it right? Any doubts? Clear? Clear everyone?